Hi everyone, this is Carly. Thank you for joining me here at this meetup webinar. We're going to get started in just a moment. All right, so once again, thank you for joining. This is going to be a quick 20, 25, 30-minute webinar just to go over Meetup, what it is, how you can apply for it, that sort of thing. If you have questions during this webinar about Meetup or about anything that I say, please submit them to the Google form. You'll find the link to that Google form in the text box on your screen. So go ahead and look at that. If you have other questions that have not been addressed, you can always send me an email or give me a call during normal business hours. All right, here we go. So what is the purpose of this webinar? We have a couple of things. One is to discuss the National Meetup Grant. What exactly is Meetup? How do you register as an organization on Meetup? What types of events can you have on Meetup? How to market your new group, a quick recap, and then answer any questions that you may have. Again, please submit those questions through the Google form in the text box. All right, so the OSDIA, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy and America National Meetup Grant, was established at the winter plenary session in 2018. That is a mistype. These grants are limited, so we only have a set number of them, and there's only one grant awarded per lodge. Essentially what the grant is it will reimburse the lodge for half of the price of the 6-month unlimited organizer subscription at Meetup. The 6-month unlimited organizer subscription is $90, so this grant will essentially give you $45 back. How do you apply? You apply by emailing me, Carly Jerome, at cjerome@osdia.org to confirm that there are still grants available. These are first come, first served. So please contact me first before you decide to apply for the grant. At this point, we have quite a few, so you will be golden and good to start. Next, what you will do is you'll purchase a 6-month unlimited organizer subscription through Meetup, and then you'll either email me or mail me a copy of the receipt. Once we get that copy of the receipt, we'll go ahead and mail you your grant funds. At the completion of the 6 months, as part of the grant, you are required as the lodge to submit a report via mail or email. You'll have this report going in, a blank copy of it, so you'll know what's expected of you. Here's just a quick copy of what that looks like now. It may evolve as we go, but right now this is kind of what it looks like. I will be the one who fills out the top portion of this form, so it will have the date the grant report is due. And then there are the grant questions. I would recommend that you decide and kind of take notes as you go for these 6 months as I said, as you go, so that you have answers kind of already filled in before you submit your report. It's pretty easy, and like I said, you will have this report with you once you apply for the grant, so it won't be a surprise. What is Meetup? Meetup is a website, pretty easy. Meetup defines itself as, quote, getting together with real people in real life makes powerful things happen. Side hustles become careers, ideas become movements, and chance encounters become lifelong connections. Meetup brings people together to create thriving communities. In other words, it allows people to explore their community in ways that were previously unavailable. It's a great resource and tool for lodges to use. I know that whenever I've moved to a different part of the city or a different city in general, I've registered as a Meetup participant and looked for communities and groups that were of interest to me. So board games, food, films, that sort of thing. I know folks of all different ages and backgrounds who use Meetup. It really is a great tool to connect people in your community. How do you register as an organization on Meetup? We're going to go step by step here. It's pretty simple. and easy to follow along. So what do? You first go to www.meetup.com. You will click on Start a New Group, which will be in the upper right-hand corner of the website. Once you do that, you will be taken to this page. Your browser will probably know where you live, so you can change your location if your lodge or your meetup group will be in a different city from what's listed. Once you have that set, you'll go to step 2, which is where you will select what your meetup will be about. You can select up to 15 topics. You don't have to select 15, but you can. I just typed in Italian American and Italy, and these are some of the things that popped up. The topics that have a little heart next to them are the ones that I've selected, so that's how you'll know which topic you've selected. Topics are really important because they allow you to be under those headers when people are searching for a group in your area. In other words, if someone is in Colorado and they love Italian food and they're in Denver, Colorado, and they want to see what groups are around that also like Italian food, they'll search Italian food and Meetup, and then your group will pop up because you selected that topic. Again, you can select up to 15 topics. They don't even have to be about Italy. They could be about travel, whatever makes the most sense to you and your lodge. After you're done with that, you'll go to the third step. The third step is your name and your description of your group. For this example, I just put the national name, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy and America. Your group name will likely be something with your lodge name, since it is a meetup to try to get people to become part of your lodge. As far as your description goes, again, I just typed in something very nondescript as an example, but here you can really type in quite a bit about who should join, why they should join, why it matters, that sort of thing. You want to try to pull them in to join your meetup group. After you're done with that, you'll go to the next step, which is agreeing to their policies and guidelines, which you can also read. You'll know when you're on this page that there's a link called Community Guidelines, which will show you what those guidelines are exactly. Once you're done with that, you'll have to create a Meetup account if you don't already have one. This will be the primary contact for your organization's Meetup account. So it could be a personal account. It could be if you wanted to have the email address be your lodge email address. It's really up to you and whatever makes the most sense for you and your lodge. Once you're done with that, you'll come to here where you will select your subscription plan. Again, with the grant, you'll want to select the unlimited plan, and you'll want to do it for 6 months. Once you sign up for that, you pay for it, you'll go ahead and send us the receipt here at National, and we will grant you the grant, essentially, and send you half of that amount back as part of the grant award. And then, what's next? You start planning. There are a lot of different ways to do Meetup, and there are a bunch of resources out there, which I will actually have a document, like a Word document or a sheet with some links to those resources on the website under the webinar section tomorrow. If you can't access the members only section for whatever reason, give me a call, send me an email, and I will email you the link to this as well as to that resource page as well. Anyway, one thing that is important that I've seen a lot of successful meetup groups do is they have a planning team. This team usually consists of 3 people, no more than 5. You don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen. That's never a good thing. And they will talk and decide what kind of events you'll have. They, of course, can get outside ideas and work with those, but these are the people that really decide where your meetup will be, what your RSVP cap will be, that sort of thing. I would also suggest that your planning team and your lodge have an internal event calendar. So you can plan out events for the entire 6 months ahead of time. It's really up to you. But I would keep that in the internal calendar only. You want to try to have only 3 events scheduled at a time, maybe 4 if you include your lodge meetings. Lodge meetings are great to have on that calendar because they're consistent, and people who are part of your meetup group can see that you have this event, these lodge meetings, every month or however often you have them. Another reason you want to have only those 6 months or however far out you're planning your events on an internal calendar is because you only want to schedule your events on Meetup 2 to 3 weeks before the event takes place. This is really important because if you schedule an event on the Meetup website for a month from now, people aren't going to remember. They might RSVP, but they'll forget by the time that month rolls around. Scheduling events on Meetup 2 to 3 weeks out, 3 weeks tops, I would say 2 weeks is your prime, but 2 to 3 weeks out really does give you a better chance to have more people attend your event. Another option you'll see once you are an organizer is that you can set the privacy on your events so that only members of your meetup group will be able to see the details. So things like location. That way you can't have, and you won't have, random people outside of your group just show up. This is kind of important because then you can keep track also of who is attending your event through those RSVPs and through your meetup group. So definitely set your events to private so that only members of your meetup group will be able to see those details. There are so many different types of events that you can have. The options really are endless. One type of event you can have, and these, I should say, are just suggestions. You really can go wild with them. One type of event that you can have are presentations. So someone that's knowledgeable in their field, a genealogist, someone who travels, an author, a historian, something like that. But you want to make sure that you change up who is presenting. You don't want to have the same 1 or 2 people talking each time you do a presentation event. Films are also a great event. We have local theaters here in DC area that play films from Italian directors. There are meetup groups that will go, and as a group, they'll go to that screening, and then afterwards, they'll talk about the movie or the director. So films are great. If you have an actual physical building for your lodge or a place that you meet, you can also do movie nights there, which are a ton of fun as well. Food. Restaurants. You can always go to a restaurant or have food at your lodge. If you do the restaurant thing, be sure to call the restaurant beforehand give them a heads up of how many people might be attending your function. Other events might be wine tastings, visiting a museum, game night like bingo, board games. You could even do fundraising nights, cooking classes, happy hours, events in the community, festivals or state fairs, anything like that. Go as a group. Remember, you want to plan events where people can be engaged in an activity, and you want to be sure to involve everyone. So it would be wonderful if you have people who are current members come to your meetup events in addition to folks who are not current members. But be sure that your lodge members are interacting with those meetup group members who are not part of the lodge. You don't want cliques to start forming. That is really uncomfortable for someone who's joining your meetup event who doesn't know anyone. So make sure that whoever's hosting that event for that night is looking out for people, making sure that everyone is involved. Something else that's important is that I would suggest, even if, let's say you want to host a game night and it doesn't go so well, not a whole lot of people show up. Don't give up on that event. Try it again, try a different night, try a different description. Just because it doesn't work one night doesn't mean it won't work another night. Now, how do you market your new meetup group? So the first part of this slide is really about the event itself. For the event, you'll want to create a catchy title that's clear and concise, nothing too verbose. You want to keep the description short and to the point, and you want to try to avoid changing any details of the event. If possible, don't change the details. You also always want to use an image. The internet is so focused on imagery. It's so important to have a photo or a graphic. I use canva.com, canva.com. It's a free resource. It is wonderful, and I'd highly suggest you use it to create images for Meetup, your social media, emails, whatever. A lot of the graphics we create at National are from that website, so it is a great resource and tool. When you have your events, expect the 70-30 rule, at least at first. That means 70% of your RSVPs will likely not attend. But don't be discouraged. This is completely normal. As you get more involvement and more people attending your meetups, you'll see that number of RSVPs who are attending go up. Another thing you can do to market your meetup group, and specifically your events, is to send out email reminders. About 2 weeks before your meetup event, you'll want to send out an email reminder to everyone in your group about the event itself, kind of like announcing that the event's taking place. A week before the event, you'll want to send out an email to those who have RSVP'd to remind them to update their RSVP if they cannot attend. The day of or the day before, send another reminder email to those who RSVP'd just to let them know that you're looking forward to seeing them. Because we're all very busy. We all forget things. It's just another way to also be in the back of people's minds. To market your meetup group and events, I would suggest using social media. So definitely throw that out on Facebook, as well as your lodge's website. If you have a newsletter, throw the link in there. If you have printed materials, throw the link in there. If you have printed materials already and you're going to like a festa or something, or you have a booth and you're handing things out, I would say, if you would like, go to the store, get some small labels, print out your meetup group link on those labels, or your meetup group name even, and then stick those labels directly on your printed material. That is a great way to market your meetup group. Now, here's a recap. We went through a lot, I know, which is why this is also recorded. OSDIA National Meetup Grant. It'll pay for half of a 6-month subscription to meetup.com as an organizer. So that'll be $45. To apply, send me an email. I'll go ahead and let you know if there is a grant available. After I let you know that you can go ahead and apply, you will purchase a 6-month subscription, send me the receipt. I will email you a copy of the report and let you know that the check is in the mail for the grant. So that $45 will be on its way. What is Meetup? It's a community where people can connect with each other in a way that they couldn't before. It's a place where people with similar interests can get to know each other and bond over those similar interests. It's extremely easy to register as an organization on Meetup. It's 4 or 5 steps. Very easy. There's a variety of events that you can host on Meetup. Definitely try to host 3 events or have 3 events listed at all times, and try to host a variety of events to get people who might not be interested in food but may want to play games. You want to get all different types of people involved. Market your Meetup group through your lodge website, social media, and print media. You also, if you have any trouble or questions, Meetup's Help Center is so user-friendly. They have printed articles as well as resources and videos. Their videos are short, 1 to 2 minutes, but they really are helpful. They have videos about what to do and what to expect on your first event, how to get people to keep coming back, that sort of thing. So I will include some of those links on that handout that I'm going to have with this recorded webinar on our website. You can also email me for that handout, and I can email it back to you with a bunch of links. All right, that's pretty much it. Short and sweet, like I said. I'm Carly Jerome. Here's my contact information. Email address, if you can't see the screen, is cjerome, that's Jerome, @osia.org. And then our phone number at the office is 202-547-2900. All right, so I have a couple questions that were submitted to the Google form, so I'm going to answer those real quick. If you have any other questions, please submit them to the Google form. I just retyped the link to that in the text box on your screen. So if you click on that, submit your Google form. I'll go ahead and get your answer to you in just a second. Hold on just one moment. I need a drink of water. All right. So the first question, is this grant only for 1 year? No, because it's only for 6 months. Again, the grant is only for half of a 6-month unlimited subscription. So hopefully that answers that question and kind of clarifies things. But if anyone has questions or would like more clarification on that grant, please do send me an email or give me a call, and I'd be more than happy to talk about it with you. The other question that I have, can we use it to advertise our local events? Yes, please do. Please use Meetup to advertise your local events. That is a great place to do it. Again, you really don't want, you want at least 3 events on there, and you really don't want to schedule events on Meetup more than 2 to 3 weeks out. But it is a wonderful way to schedule and to show the community what your lodge is doing. So I would certainly recommend that. All right. Perfect. I have one last question. So if anyone else has any questions, please go to that Google form and I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, it's going to be a really short meeting and we'll be done right after this. All right. Whoop. Google form, come back. How many users can you have? So that's a good question, and I'm not entirely sure what this question means by users. You can have an unlimited amount of people in your group, as with that unlimited subscription. I'll go back to that slide real quick. So you can grow your meetup as large as you'd like. That means you can have as many members as you want in your meetup group, as well as organizers. So what that means is that once you set up your meetup group, if you have other people like your planning committee join as members, you can set them to be organizers as well, which means that they can edit, add, do whatever they need to with events on your page. They can email members. Essentially, they're like an admin. So I hope that answers your question. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what that means. So yeah, that's kind of how many members you can have. You can grow it to as large as you want. It's unlimited, which is another great thing. And it's only $5 more a month than the basic, which does limit you. It's only 50 members. And hopefully your meetup group will have more than that. It's pretty easy once you start getting a lot of members to continue to grow it. All right. That's all the questions that I see. Yes, you can get a copy of this presentation, James and Deborah. This will be on the members only section tomorrow. If you would like to have a copy of it and you can't get on the members only section, do send me an email and I will send you a link to the presentation as well as to those other resources. So once again, my email is cjerome@osdia.org, or give us a call and I will get you those things to you. We'll get you hooked up. Not a problem. Thanks for being on the call. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that you all have a wonderful, pleasant evening. And like I said, if anyone does have any other questions about Meetup or the grant, please do contact me. We here at National are here to help you, and we want to be a resource for you and do whatever we can to have you be successful. So with that, I hope you have a great night. Thanks.